Hello and welcome to another video blog of So Far So Happy. I am Ginoski and today I want to talk about purpose. Because sometimes we wonder what are we supposed to do here? Or at least I do. I wonder that a lot. And I always want to work towards something. I don't know what is it, but or at least I didn't know what was it. I'm not gonna say that I found my purpose because maybe I haven't, and I think I have, but I am better than 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So I have realized that purpose goes hand to hand with yourself. Because if you know yourself, you know your purpose. And if you know your purpose, you know yourself. Maybe because I'm a Virgo, but I just relate everything to work. But it is important for me to know why am I doing the things I'm doing? Am I serving something bigger than myself? Because yes, I want that. I I want to know that whatever I am doing, I'm doing it because it's meant to be, not just. And when I feel like that's why when I was younger, I just couldn't keep jobs because I just couldn't handle not feeling like I was doing something important for consciousness. So I'm very thankful for discovering practices that allow me to get into this point in which I am doing my own thing, creating my own products, like these earrings that I started making, and that they just you might think, oh, it's just an earring, it's just, but they're very special, and that's the purpose of everything. That's why we all have a different purpose, and it might seem really small, but it can be huge. So in my first video blog I talked about the natal chart because to me, I mean, it's I love astrology, and it has been a huge part of my development. um, if it wasn't for astrology and knowing my natal chart and my positions and um, contemplating them for a long, long time, I I wouldn't have that assurance because that's how it works. It's like you really, when you get your natal chart, you don't know anything. Like, and we're not astrologers. So you have no idea what you're getting. It's just like this paper with some symbols, and it just takes so much to get to know it, but that's just how complex we are. So I always tell everybody, just get your natal chart and you can get it. It's so easy. Just my go-to is astrotheme.com, and you just put there your name and the time you were born, where you were born, everything, and they tell you where is your sun and your ascendant and a little bit of what it means, but it's very short. um, Obviously it's not everything. So you need to study, you need to go deep in it, and just get into YouTube and what does this means, Saturn in the fifth house. and you'll find details, that they're like, that's what the natal chart does. It's a map. It's a map. And to me, it has been great, because it's like, because me personally, I like to do many things, and I'm very like, I like an idea and I go for it. I guess it's my Mercury energy, like I always want to like be doing this and doing that, but there are some times which I get like overwhelmed and then realize like, oh, why am I doing this? Like I don't even really like that much. I thought I really liked it, and turns out I don't like it that much. So that's not my purpose, because again, I always want to work towards my purpose. So looking at my natal chart, it's like, oh, you're like, it has to do with this, you're like into this, so that's good, you know. It takes time, it takes effort mostly, but you get your purpose in meeting yourself for real. So I like to do the effort. And obviously getting like astrology reading, like natal chart reading, something like that would be awesome. And that leads me to the second um, practice or way to know yourself, and it has to do with astrology, because astrology is very linked to mythology. It's like they're like a conjunction, a union of astronomy and mythology, and then you have astrology. So every placement in your chart, it's linked to a myth and a hero and a story of the times that we don't have memory of. So for example, there is this myth of Hercules and the 12 jobs that he had to make to rescue Prometheus. Yeah, don't quote me on that, because it's been a long time since I checked the myth. But each job, there are 12 jobs, there are 12 signs. So each job represents a sign, and then if I'm a Virgo, then I go for this. I go and check the sixth job that he had, and there is a lesson there, or there is a message. Every sign is ruled by a planet, and every planet is represented by God, by a certain God. Like, for example, Sagittarius is Zeus. Um, so look, if you're a Sagittarius, go ahead and look at the Zeus mythology. Or Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is and it's related to the myth of Poseidon. Um, things. And there are different mythologies, so you don't have to be into Greek mythology. You can be into any mythology that it belongs to your culture. Um, how also in the Chinese horoscope there are these tales of each animal. It's kind of like that. It's kind of getting that story, and therefore you have like oh yeah, like for example, for Leo, sometimes it's Narcissus, because he thought he was the hottest and the most beautiful person in the world, and then he looked at himself in the water and he fell in love with himself. So Leos maybe could um, live this myth, or whatever the sun is, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and then whatever the sun is on our chart, that's how we might live that myth in between, inside of our chart. So I know it sounds complicated, but it really isn't that complicated. You just, like myself, I'm a Virgo, so I'm ruled by Mercury. So I go and check Mercury. Also, in the Western astrology, is also ruled by Chiron, for what I know. So then I go and look for the myth of Chiron, and and then I apply it to my life a little bit, and reflect on it. One thing with astrology and your natal chart, and mostly for young people, is that we haven't really lived many things that we see on the natal chart. So we don't understand it, because we haven't experienced it. Um, when you're older, then it's like they can show you like things in your life that is like, oh, okay, I learned that lesson from Saturn because, yeah, when I was 30, this happened and this happened, and but for me, for example, when I got my chart, it was like everything was like, oh, really, no. I couldn't really believe anything on it because I was fixated on my reality back then. I didn't realize that I was gonna grow up, and I had no idea what was gonna happen. And but the chart was there along with me, and whenever I had an idea or something, like, or a confusion, because we get confused a lot, or at least I do. So I just contemplate it, and just and whenever whatever, like, I felt like was something, I would like check it online, and that's one thing. So that's two things. Now, the third thing, which I think is very important, and I mentioned a little bit, on my, I believe, my second video blog, and it was about childhood questions. For me, they are key. I don't know about most people, but I think it works the same for all of us. I don't think I'm different from anybody. And there is just these questions that you have when you're a kid about perception, or yeah, mostly about perception of situations or things. So just really, I will say, meditate on remembering those questions that you had, that nobody really answered for you. That's the thing. It's not just any questions. It has to be like this type of questions that you never really got an answer to it, and you probably still don't have it. So just, I will say, take 5 minutes of your day and try to remember those things that they were never answered, or that if they were answered, the answer wasn't satisfying for you, like it didn't really explain, like, I think they're like these little keyholes, and they will like just assure things to you that you probably already know, because that will take me to the fourth way to find out what's your purpose. Because I am a strong believer that when you were a kid, you knew what you wanted to be, and more than that, there were these behaviors that they they point exactly who you are, because your inner child knows more. Your inner child is a lot more connected with the higher perspective, and if you're confused, and if you're doing something and you're like, is this just kind of invoke your inner child, and it will tell you, I think so. Yeah, because we were pure when we were children. We were here without all the fear and anxieties and ugh, everything. You know, we were pure. We knew exactly what we wanted and what we were here for. So yes, take some time, get that inner child going, and it's pretty cool. And that the fourth one is your talents. You know, your talents. You have talents for a reason. You have talents because you are meant to bring something different, something that you are more, that you have an ability to do easier than other people because you're meant to shine on that. So your talents, pursue your talents. Don't let it. Don't feel like they're not possible or that it you will not pay the bills with being a painter or being not. Just eliminate all of that and just become that inner child again, you know, and be that openness to and the ability to believe that you can do anything, you know. Visualize just like we do when we're kids and we play. We visualize ourselves being princesses or mommies and daddies and firefighters and anchors, things like that. Like we visualize ourselves, and therefore that's what we have to do when we are adults. And I know it's hard. It's hard. It it's not easy, but it will lead us to great places. And the fifth and very important one too, um, do yoga. But I have find out in my experience, it's that more than an exercise or a practice. I mean, it is a spiritual practice, and it is because it unlocks it unlocks talent and consciousness. It aligns you. You know, when you do yoga, you're aware of your body. You're putting your body straight, and you are being conscious. And when you're being conscious with your body, you, in my opinion, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure because I know many people. I mean, yoga is ancient. You know, it wouldn't be here and so popular if it wasn't effective. It really does get you aligned. It unlocks things on you, and it also detoxes, like detoxes your body from things that you don't need in your mind, and it makes it so much uh, easier for you to deal with everyday tasks. Um, and when you're starting to getting like all those blocks out of your way, you know, out of your kundalini or I don't practice kundalini yoga, but I think it's something like that. But yoga does unlocks something inside of you. It does. It gets your energy flowing, and it's great. And I know these five things are not easy. They're not a fast solution. In fact, they are like practices that will stick for you for life because you will it will be those resources that you have to keep in balance. um, you you don't have to do all of them, but if you do all of them, well, it's great. but you can start slowly, stretching, starting to stretch in the morning, and then you move on to other things, listening to a quick video on mythology, um, based obviously on your chart. You don't have to know every single myth up there and what every planet means here and there. No, you just have to know yours, and yes, you have to do a little bit of research, but it's fun because you're getting to know yourself. It's not something um, that you do for money or for vanity, or no, you do it for yourself. You do it because it will allow you to have more confidence in life, because that's pretty much about, like we really don't know. Like, even if I have my map and I do my meditations and I do, that doesn't assures me that I'm going in the right direction, like, but it gets confidence, and maybe some understanding to what happens around in your life, because we really have no idea where life takes us, or how we're gonna react to something, because we don't know ourselves. Sometimes we think we're gonna be one way when something happened, and then it happens and we're completely the other way, or um, the more we know who we truly are, the more we enjoy this experience of being alive. And I think that's fun. That's fun for me. Bueno, okay, I am going to pull out a card, and happy summer solstice. Actually, it's here. Summer solstice in the USA. Um, New beginnings. Uh, Tensions are high, but today I'm feeling joyful. So, perseverance. uh, Perseverance. I got this card this morning, so. um, it seems we need to know that there are forces working with us that we do not see or even feel. We can feel it if we tune to it, um, but we have to persevere. If things are not going the way we expected, as fast as we expected, we gotta keep trying, because things are changing. The world is changing, um, and there are opportunities, a lot of opportunities coming our way. So we really have to just keep doing what we're doing with the same intensity. So if you are feeling a little confused, what am I doing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? It's not working out. It's not working out. Persevere. um, but also be mindful of what you're trying to pursue. It feels like the energy of love is coming soon. It's coming soon, or we're gonna feel it soon. Maybe we don't feel it right now at this moment. In fact, we're feeling like a little bit down, uh, but it will be here very soon. I hope this message relates to you. And I hope you have an amazing week, month. I don't know when I will post again, but I will see you. Bye bye.